It's Bruno Bomba now. He's had an explosive interview and he's basically exposed the Manchester United hierarchy. They plan to basically sell Bruno Fernandes last summer, and maybe this could be an indication that Bruno Fernandes leaves the club in the upcoming summer transfer window. Let's let's break it down now. Reading word for word to what Bruno said in the interview. I could have left in the last transfer window and would have earned a lot more money. Financially, it, it would have been much better for me, he claimed. At one point, I was going to leave. I won't say where, but I would have won many trophies that season. I decided to stay not only for family reasons, but because I genuinely liked the club. The conversation with the coach also made me stay. But from the club side, I felt a bit of, if you go, it's not really that bad for us. That hurts me a little. More than hurting, it makes me sad because I'm a player, they have nothing to criticize me for. I'm always available for every match. I always play, whether well or badly, I give my maximum. Then you look around you and you see players who don't value the club as much as you do and who don't defend the club as much. That makes you sad. That's what Bruno had to say in one part of his interview, which he had conducted a few weeks earlier, but released just a day back. What do I have to say? Well, I wouldn't honestly. Um, Firstly, about Bruno, he's been a tremendous servant for our club. Ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club, he's been our best signing by a country mile. He's contributed a lot for us on the field, scoring a lot of goals, a lot of assists, helping us win a lot of matches that if he wasn't part of, we probably would have lost those games. But also, there are a lot of criticisms also to Bruno's play. Not showing up in the biggest of games in the 2021 Europa League finals, in the 2025 Europa League finals. Both games he dropped two back to back stinkers in two of the biggest games um, in the club's history post Sir Alex Ferguson. Two European Cup finals, both the games that we lost, both the games where Bruno Fernandes failed to shine for the club. Now, Bruno has obviously he's a player that when on form he's a tremendous player, a player that you cannot replace at all at the club, a player that you cannot find anywhere else in the world, a player a player that in his position probably statistically has the most goals and assists in the last 5 years, which just shows um, how valuable of an asset Bruno Fernandes can be. But given that he's 31 years of age now, going to turn 32 come next season, I wouldn't mind selling Bruno Fernandes at all. And even last summer, I wasn't against the club's. I wouldn't have been against the club if they had sanctioned the deal to sell Bruno Fernandes to Saudi Arabia, to Al Hilal, for what they were reporting to they were reporting that Al Hilal were offering 80 to 100 million pounds. That's a tremendous amount of money. That's a load of money, honestly. With that amount of money, we could have signed two more midfielders, maybe two midfielders, which could have helped balance our team out, helped balance our squad out, helped us probably gain a little more points, honestly, because you can see that Manchester United are having struggles in the midfield currently, and signing two midfielders to deal with the play to gel in perfectly to help maximize the current system would have been tremendous for us if we could have added those two midfielders in for the amount of money that we'd have got of the Bruno transfer. Now, I'm not saying that the club did a bad decision of not selling Bruno Fernandes. It was up to Bruno Fernandes whether he wanted to leave the club or no in the end of the day, as mentioned in the interview. What he's doing here is he's letting us know that the club didn't care if Bruno Fernandes left the hierarchy didn't care if Bruno Fernandes left the club. They were happy if Bruno left the club or no. But let's be honest now. Do you think Bruno Fernandes can carry Manchester United to a Premier League title? In my honest opinion, I do not think Bruno Fernandes carries us to a Premier League title. In my honest opinion, I think Bruno Fernandes isn't captain material at all. His behavior on the field, the amount of moaning that he does, the lack of leadership quality, in my opinion. I know he drags the team sometimes by scoring crucial goals or giving crucial assists, but that's not all to what a captain must have. A captain must be a strong leader, a role model, something which he isn't, in my opinion. The In my opinion, the way I look at Bruno, his acts on the field, apart from the ball, I'm saying, off the ball, is very very bad. Is very low. I do not see a ruthless leader in Bruno Fernandes. That's one thing I would say, but I can never take anything away from what Bruno Fernandes has done for the club. He saved us in many occasions. He scored a lot of goals for us, a lot of assists for us, won us a lot of matches in the Premier League and other cup games, and also in the Europa leagues. Um, but there are also other things that we must point out from Bruno Fernandes' interview. What did Bruno Fernandes also point out? He said there are other players in the club who do not care much about the club. The other players in the club do not care about the club. Do you understand what he's trying to say? This is the problem in Manchester United. Players come here just for the money. Players come here just to add Manchester United as a club that they've played for into their resume. To say at the end of the day, you know, I played for Manchester United. Maybe once they retire, once they get old enough, once their children are growing up, or once their grandchildren are growing up, they'll probably recite to them, or tell them a story. I played for Manchester United. Manchester United is a massive name, by the way. And to have a club like Manchester United in your resume, people dream to have that. But the problem with these players is that they're just happy to have it in their resume and aren't willing to help this club get back to where we were, get back to those heights that we must be at, get back to those heights that we belong to, that winning trophies is a must. These players do not have that in their DNA, and what we must do is to get rid of those players. If Bruno Fernandes has put those players under the bus now, he's called them out. Name them out right now. I want to know the names. All the fans want to know the names. The club want to know the names, so we can get rid of them, so that they don't play another minute for this club. And when Bruno Fernandes obviously um, spoke about this in an interview long back. Obviously, it was released just a day back, but this was released. But this interview was done a long time back, and um, if do you remember what Kobe Mainoo's brother did? The free Kobe Mainoo written on his shirt. Apparently, Kobe Mainoo told his brother to do it, to voice an opinion basically for himself, but through his brother. This is what Bruno Fernandes is trying to say. Players do not care about the club. Kobe Mainoo is a Manchester lad. He's come out from the Manchester United academy, and players like him are trying to play these kind of acts, and foolish behavior shouldn't be tolerated at all at this club. The first thing that the club has to do is get rid of all these useless players, try and make as much money as possible, and make the right recruitments, get the right players that are Manchester United DNA. Players that care for the club, players that want the club to get back to those heights, get us back into the Champions League, get us into the latter stages, help us win the Premier League, help us win the cups, help us win the Champions League at the end of the day. That's the goal. And for that to happen, we must recruit the right players, get the right players, not these dummies, not these players who are just here for the money, not these players that don't have passion, not these players that don't have heart. They should play for us fans. We pay so much money to watch you lot play at the stadiums. We pay so much money for subscriptions to watch you play every single week. But all you do is let us down. All you do is let us fans down. And you've been letting us down for the last how many years? It's not acceptable. And Bruno Fernandes has called the club out and the players out. Now it's up to them to fix this. Are they going to do it? Are they going to sell Bruno Fernandes in the summer? What I felt is, after reading the news of the interview. I haven't watched the interview, only read the bits of the interview. It feels like the club wants to move on from Bruno Fernandes. But now you're going to move on from Bruno Fernandes, who's been one of the best players at the club. You better make the right recruitment choices. You better find the right replacements. Because even if I have a few bad things to say about Bruno Fernandes, I cannot say he hasn't played for the badge. He hasn't played. I can never say he hasn't played for the club. He's always given his 100%. Whether it's him always trying to make something happen, which hasn't happened in a lot of occasions, which is also mentioned there, that even if he plays well or doesn't play well or plays badly, he still gives his all for the club, which I can never take of Bruno Fernandes. Now, Manchester United hierarchy, it's all on you. Make the right decisions. Even if you do sell Bruno in the summer, make the right decisions, get the right players in, and get us back to where we belong. Anyhow, thanks for watching the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of this situation. And I'll see you a lot soon. I'm out. Peace.